So a personal brand can't be created quickly or easily. Have you tried Googling yourself? Yep. That's your personal brand. So if it's linked to Instagram, if it's linked to Facebook, you'll come up on Google. So I've Googled myself, and the reason I use the same photo on everything is for my personal brand, so that except for Facebook. So if people see me on Google+, if they see me on Airtasker, if they see me on LinkedIn, there's a whole brand, and that actually has gotten me work because they've recognised my picture, they know what I do, and they've called out to me. They've seen me on another platform, and instantly they know who I am. So facial recognition is really important. Be clear about the image you intend to project. If you have more than one message, you run the risk of confusing people. So if you have too many things. And I'll give you some examples as well. Make certain your brand message is consistent across all platforms, so whether that be your resume, LinkedIn, Google+, and any other accounts that they sync with, your website. Make sure that you're also put your photo on your website as well if you have a website. It's really important as well, just that facial recognition and people being able to know who you are and what you do. Back up any broad statements that you say with proof, so show numbers, dates, etc. of what you've done. People want to know that you can back up your claim. So for example, you'll see entrepreneur. A lot of people can say they're entrepreneurs. What does that mean? So what do you do? So it's really important that you link that back to what it is that you do. Richard Branson's an entrepreneur, but a lot of them I wouldn't say are. Keep it brief. You can state your value proposition in 10 words or less. If not, you run the risk of being forgettable. The death knell of any brand. Okay, so your introduction on LinkedIn. Now that's me, obviously, and that's my background photo. It's really important. Now, when you go onto your LinkedIn profile, you've got like a little part where you can really sell yourself quickly. So it's really important that you can articulate to your audience who click on your profile what you do. So for me, I do talent management, development, transformation, SME business advice, talent acquisition, advice, and career coaching. And then when you click down further, you can actually put in more about what you do. So does everyone have that on their profile? No, that's really important. So if you take away one thing from tonight, make sure that you are able to articulate what you do, whether you're in work or whether you're not, but what your background is, because it's very quick and easy, even if you're not, even if people aren't clicking on your profile and they've seen that you've liked something and see your face, you go to other people's profiles as well. So that means that they can see quickly in a snapshot what you do. Does anyone have any questions about that? Sure.
I heard some people saying it's better to write in the third party way. For example, rather than I use I, it's better to use he or she. Is it true?
I wouldn't talk in any voice. If it were me, I would be talking, if you call it, the third person. So for me, I've written talented, dynamic culture business, focus on measuring results. Key achievements include, so I've put what some of my achievements are, academic qualifications, without saying I. So I'd leave that out because, again, it's about not you selling yourself, but your brand selling you, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I am highly competitive, passionate and consumed by achieving results. Yeah, good pick up. I'll take that out. So it clearly says what I've done. So your introduction should tell people what you do. Use keywords so that people can find you. So if you do, for example, do startup for tech companies, make sure you put that in so that people, when they search for you on Google and looking for business, they can find you easily.
Someone recently said to me that the higher up in your LinkedIn profile, that the LinkedIn algorithm
Yes,
mix it up.
it
more.
does.
So right, even if sort of your experience is down further,
Yeah.
you want to focus on that, stick it up.
Oh, exactly, yeah. And I changed mine. Like mine was different when I was at Maya. It was different when I was at L'Oreal because I tailored my profile to suit the target audience, and my target audience has changed significantly. So hence that. Okay. So getting connected to the right people. So who are your current connections? What are second connections? And how do you get more from the right connections? Has anyone here got less than 500 connections? Okay. You need to work on that. And obviously being the right connections. So the easiest way to do that is if you have access to, say, my profile, for example, or Nisha's profile, you can access all of their second connections. So you can literally scroll through the connections and see if any of them are relevant for you and connect in with them. So that you can send them a message like, I'd really like to connect with you, or you don't have to write anything at all. People will be able to see by your profile, but be really careful that you're not connecting and that they're not that you're not connecting to sell. So people can spot that a mile away, and you can spot it because you get a connection, then straight away you get an email, you get an email, and you know straight away you just don't even look because it's you know where they're selling. Like Roden and Fields or something at the moment, they're doing it all the time. It's really frustrating. So hence why I say, you know, I know you're connected to Nish, for example. I'd love to connect with you, and leave it at that. And then just put them on the side as a pipeline for you, and then later on you can go out and connect and ask any questions. Yes?
Question, Katrina. So is that second and third connection still true? Because just over the weekend I connected to somebody in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I looked them up and it's connected with them, right?
Yep.
I have no common connections, like I have no other connections outside Australia.
Mm.
Right? How was it that I was able to connect with them if they were outside my third connection?
Do you have a lot of, how many do you have on your LinkedIn?
Not many, 180 or something.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I suspect that they've changed since, and I could be wrong here, but since Microsoft have taken them over, because I've noticed as well, people that, like a Richard Branson, who you can't link in with, you can only follow, I can now link in with. So it's just a drop-down box and connect.
That's what
And a lot of people don't realise that. It just says follow, but you can actually connect in with them now. So that's really interesting you say that, because I thought, oh, maybe it's because I've gotten over a certain amount of connections, because it used to be that you'd become an influencer once you get a certain amount of connections, and that's their bread and butter, so they want you to have a lot of connections as well. So yeah, I think that, yes.
So you're saying that we can connect with people that we don't really know yet?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because I heard someone say if you have too many connections and you don't know them, it's like you're not being selective. Or
Why would they do that?
maybe this is my impression or something, but maybe now you can connect as many as you
Absolutely. If you feel that they're going to either give you something or you can help them, and remember it's a two-way street as well. Never be afraid to connect with people. It's like never being afraid to have a conversation with someone you don't know on the street. The same really applies. Some people, in my last role at Maya, I was surprised and flabbergasted at how many senior managers weren't even on LinkedIn. And now they're competing to get more followers on LinkedIn because they want to beat each other. But people are afraid. It's part of human nature to go, oh, I don't know that person, I won't put myself out there. What if they say no? What if they say no? It's like sales. You knock on so many doors, you know you're going to get one sale out of 150 or whatever. So yeah, absolutely don't be afraid. And most people are afraid. People are afraid to connect to, actually I connected to the managing director of Pacific Brands, and he actually sent me a message saying, thank you for connecting. People think because of my title that I'm unreachable. And that tells me a lot about you because you're not afraid to connect. And then he tried to poach me, but and then so don't be afraid of titles or people's roles or always connecting. You'll be surprised. All they can do is say no.
And LinkedIn and Facebook, like if I go to see someone and they have a lot of Facebook friends, I can see that, you know, they add friends without being selective. And
Yeah.
LinkedIn is a different kind of mindset. Or?
So Facebook, it's interesting, you know, Facebook for me, and I can only tell on my experience, I'm very selective, whereas on LinkedIn, I'm not so selective because I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not that I'm doing anything wrong on Facebook, but I don't my LinkedIn is for professional networks, and the wider your professional network, the more connections you have and the more ability you have and the bigger audience you have. And I'll talk about what that means when you have a bigger audience. I've seen mine grow significantly from, likes from when I first started on LinkedIn till now. It's changed incredibly. So people will write to me and say, I really like your post on this, or I like your post on that, I'm glad you liked Eminem, stuff like that. I think I'll start a new trend calling it links to famous.